Next up on our Wildlife Conservation Center tour is our striped skunk. So there are many species of skunk around the world. What we have here in Ohio is the striped skunk, and this is Paisley. Paisley unfortunately was hit by a car, but she was very young, which isn't something we always see. So Paisley is not able to see very well, and Paisley is not able to spray. So of course, those are two really big things that she does not have a fair chance of survival in the wild and would not be able to survive on her own. So we keep her with us. These little guys are scavengers. You know, they do eat dead animals, which of course, anything that eats dead animals is helpful to us. It helps to stop the spread of disease by eating up those animals that aren't alive anymore, so that viruses and bacteria that may grow there don't get spread by insects and other means. So we love our scavengers, but they also eat a ton of insects, which we like, especially grubs in our yard. So if you see them out there, that may be what they are eating up for you. And of course, they eat plants. They're a really neat, clean animal. We have litter boxes in here. This is the back portion of her behind the scenes enclosure right now. So that face that you see there, she's constantly sniffing. That's how she can really tell what's around her with her injuries, and even if she were healthy in the light. It is very normal to see them all hours of the day and night right now because it is baby season. So if babies are up, mom is up. And these little guys, they may not know when to do what they're supposed to do yet. So it's very normal to see them all hours of the day. And of course, they're only going to spray if they have to. Their own spray can hurt them. So it's only if they're really challenged and really cornered that they will do that. If you're worried about that, clap your hands or make noise before you send yourself, kids, or dogs out in the yard in the evening to give them a chance to get away before we go out into that space. Next up is one of my favorites. It's the American mink.
Yeah, so this is Jinx. Jinx is our American mink. They are, look at that face, first of all. Scientifically adorable.
Yes. Little tongue.
So he is, he lives with us because he doesn't act the way that a wild mink should. He was found in a garage, and he didn't really act like he was afraid of people. We believe that he is a mink farm escapee, mostly because of his size and the way he was behaving. The mink is a cousin of the weasel and the otter. You can see they have that long, slender body, and they spend lots of time in the water. They actually have a little bit of webbing between their toes. They use that long tail kind of as a rudder, and their fur has several layers to it that helps to keep them dry and warm. So you can see that they are amazing swimmers. They are carnivores, so they are eating meat. They're catching a lot of fish. They're eating a lot of frogs, things like that. We do not typically see mink, although they are around. They have an amazing sense of hearing and an amazing sense of smell, and they really don't want us to see them. They're kind of small, and with that long, slender body, they're very stealthy. So it's very easy for us to miss them. We do have a few that we see from time to time out at Sippo Lake Park, so there are some wild mink around. Typically, they're alone. They're not usually living in groups. And so when you do see them in groups, it's usually a family. It's mom and some babies that are following her, learning how to be mink on their own. So they are an adorable animal that is an amazing predator, and they're great for us to have around. Now it's time to meet our red foxes.
Absolutely. Let's take a peek over here. Oh, that face. So here in Ohio, we have two species of fox, red and gray. The two fox that we have at the center are both red. This is Jade. So Jade is much more the typical size and color of a red fox that you're going to see here in Ohio. So here in this photo, this current photo, she has her winter coat. That is going to start to change. She's a little bit of a mess while that happens, but absolutely beautiful, not a very large animal. So Jade only weighs about 11 pounds. They're not that big. Unfortunately, Jade was kept as a pet. Now Jade is got to be close to 9 or 10 years old now, but she's only been with us for the last 3 to 4 years. So we just acquired Jade not too long ago. Now, they eat rodents, so they don't expend a lot of energy chasing things around. They prefer to sneak up on something and pounce. So rodents are perfect for that. Mice, moles, voles, those little critters that are going to be out over grasslands and along the edge habitats in forests that they can jump on. Being that they are a very stealthy animal, they can move quickly, they can move quietly, and they're able to jump on those little critters. That big tail. So they dig a den, they live under the ground. They're amazing diggers. Usually you can really tell a fox den because there's a pretty big hole, bigger than a groundhog or a woodchuck, and there's a pile of dirt where they have been digging and kicking that out on one side. And if you go a few feet away, there should be another hole of the same size with a little bit smaller pile of dirt. That's the back door. So they go down in there. That's their warmth and their safety. And where they give birth to their young and where they raise those babies. So it is actually baby season, and it is very, very, she's gonna bark a little, very low. It is very normal to see them all hours of the day and night. Again, babies don't know when to be awake or when to be asleep, so they're active, especially right now. Now, when we go into fall again and they've raised those babies, they're off on their own, they will go back to living on their own. They are not a pack animal. That tail really comes in handy, though. You notice it's almost the size of the rest of her body. She's going to curl up here. That tail acts really like a blanket. So when they lay like a donut, kind of like our dogs do at home, that tail can cover that face where it can get a little cold in those areas. If you visit Jade, a lot of times she's going to be doing just this. She's going to be a very sleepy girl. And of course, we hear our ducks in the background. Now, we also have Jasper, who you're going to see, but I want you to take note of all of the toys. So all of our animals would have been living in the wild, and they need something to keep their brains busy. This is Jasper. Jasper, you know, we suspect that Jasper may have escaped from a farm or a home, you know, we're not sure where, but it does seem that he was bred domestically, maybe for fur or for the pet trade, we're not sure. But he's a little bit larger than we would find red foxes in the wild, and he's a little bit different color than we would find typically. But he is still a red fox. So, you know, if we have color variation in the red fox, it's typically referred to as the silver coloring. And that is not what he has. They would be the exact same size and shape, but all the fur would be black and silver. So again, this is how Jasper spends most of his days, a very sleepy boy. But you'll notice all the enrichment in both of these cages. Jasper is a little newer than Jade. So for him, he's still getting his new things of what's exciting. Jade has already racked up quite a few toys. But a lot like our pets at home, you know, their brains need to be kept busy. We don't want to hurt themselves. We don't want them to have neurological problems. In the wild, they'd be spending all of this brain power to stay alive, to find food, to take care of babies, to dig a den. And with us, they don't need to do any of that. So we have to give them enrichment. We hide their food. We target train them to keep those brains busy and not getting too bored. So if you're ever out there, you see those toys, you see those things going on, they absolutely love them. And those are our mammals that eat meat.